Farmer's Moose here. So this video is going to be on the the pole winner. It's going to be on the fire alarm control panel. This is something I've never strapped before, and just want to get this out of the way. So I got this from a friend of mine down in Boston, Joe Gordinas. He works for like a property management company. And this building, for some reason, there must have been a fire. The sprinklers went off, and their policy is once that happens, everything needs to be replaced with new stuff. So it may look brand new, but it's something that, according to him, has had like water damage, so cannot be reused, and no parts can be resold, safely. So it's getting scrapped. So let's take a look at it. All right. So first off, we've got this. It's a real cool looking, like, heavy duty metal case with a lock on it. So, if I can, I'm going to save that for my garage to put something in there. Maybe hide my something. Anyway. Alright, so we got a bag here. It's got some wire in it. These little things are ferrous. They wrap around the wires to, like, I guess, prevent electrical interference or something. And I've got keys, so this is getting reused. Alright, so let's take a look at what we got here. It looks like a circuit board, a big circuit board, touch panel. We've got a big transformer over here, and I see an aluminum heat sink there, and not much else. So let's take this bugger apart. Alright, so I'm going to put this aside for now, and it looks like it's pretty much all this is going to be. Wow, that's a heavy transformer. Alright. Alright, so that's it for the case. This looks like it'll come out fairly easy, so I don't need to take that out now. I'll take that out later. Okay, so let's take a look at this board here. So, start off, we've got this smaller board that was on top. So there's not a whole lot on here. I don't see much for gold plating. These little chips right there at the tip of my finger, those little ones may have ruthenium in them, I'm not quite sure. And these little surface mount things right here, if you look on the side, there's a little piece of metal underneath them. It's like a little, it's copper anyway. So some people like to take those off and pull the copper out, but that's a lot of work for not much weight. So I'm just going to put this aside as a low-grade board. This, however, we've got the keypad on it. Let's take that off. Oh, lovely. Alright, that is one thick, heavy-duty rubber keypad. Yep. Thick and just rubber. So, let's recycle that. And this whole board is gold-plated. I don't know if it shows up too well on the camera. The lighting here in Maine come this time of year, we lose all sun by like 4 o'clock. So, I'm not going to see a whole lot. But I'll see if I can get this off and get you to see that lovely gold glimmer. And then we can see what's underneath it. wire. That's supposed to be fit. All right, so on the back of this thing, we've got a bunch of gold-plated pins. Some going this way and some going straight up. We've got all right. So these little black square, or sorry, square, those little round black dots. When you see those on boards, typically there's going to be some gold bonding wires in those. So it's worth. From what I understand, it's fairly similar to BGA chips. All right, so we're going to take that. I'm going to take some pliers and bend back these little metal doodads. I want to make sure I use the proper terminology. It's a doodad. Alright, so now that should pop off. Oh, more gold plate. Look at that. Alright, so there's the little screen. That is cool. That was turning up. It was somehow turning on with just my fingers. Oh, there it is. That's weird. Anywho, so there's that. And there's this thing, which I don't think has much of anything in it. But for the sake of science, let's get all the way in there. Well, there is something in there. All those little metal dots, they kind of look gold-plated. So, but they're under a layer of like rubber that does not want to come off easily. So that's going to be very difficult to process. So I'm going to put that aside. Alright, so back to this board. So we've got gold plating all over these things, all over this, all over here, down these strips, all these little tiny holes here. Those have a little bit of gold plating in them. Flip it over. We've got gold plating here, here, all over there. We've got the gold plated pins. So this board it's a nice little find. And now we look at this board, which is pretty nice. This I would probably consider a high grade board. There are a lot of IC chips on it, like everywhere. And these things that I pulled a couple out of the case, you always want to make sure that you check them with a magnet, because sometimes they're brass or aluminum. So these I think are aluminum because they're pretty light. But scratch them with a file. If it's yellow underneath, it's brass. If not, it's likely aluminum. Alright, so the wires I pulled off, we've got, let's zoom in here. So on the wires that I pulled off, we've got some gold plating in here. We've got a little bit of gold plating in there. And these can have gold plating in them, but more often than not, it's just the tips of the little metal prongs in there, so not really worth digging into. I know Geo mentions something about how it takes like 20 kilograms to make 1 gram of gold from material like that, so it's really not worth it. So we're going to put that aside and take a closer look at this thing. So we are going to have, so there's gold plating here on all these. Everywhere there was a screw, for some reason it's gold plated. We've got some crystal oscillators. We've got some tiny little tantalum capacitors. I think those might be tantalum as well. We've got more gold pins scattered here and there and everywhere. Lots of ICs, monolithic ceramic capacitors. Some pretty nice sized ones in there. And there's, I mean, pretty much everything in this has got some gold plating and all, like the connections, pretty much. These little guys right here, if you, I've made videos on those before. If you take them apart, there's a little switch in there with silver contacts on it. Nice little chunk of aluminum there. Another switch right here that's probably going to have some silver as well. Flip. And nothing on the backside. Alright. Now we look at this transformer. Now, some of you are eBay savvy and can take a transformer like this and turn around and sell it for, maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks, depending on the type of transformer condition. But some of us like to just scrap it, take it apart. So you pull back some of that material, and a lot of times the wire has a coating on it. Like this one has like a red coating on it. So you take your knife or a file or something, you scratch it, and if it's pink underneath, or like a copper color, it's copper. If it's silvery, then it's aluminum. And you want to make sure that you check both, because sometimes they put aluminum on one side and copper on the other. Yep, copper on both sides. So, there we go. So I found with, items like scientific equipment, medical equipment, stuff that's high-ticket items, stuff that it's very important that they don't fail. Critical pieces of electronic equipment. Most often you're going to find the highest quality components inside. You're going to find more gold plating. You're going to find more copper instead of aluminum. You're going to find, it's going to be a more valuable scrap. So I think that's about it for this video. So that's a fire panel. First time I've done one, and I'd do it again because that's a nice board. I'm going to pick off all those ICs and a bunch of stuff on there and save that for processing come spring. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Check out the video description section, and see y'all later.